There we go. I'm recording. Now I've got to be on my best behaviour. Right. We every day live our lives. We go out and about. We interact with other people. And I think on many occasions we miss opportunity. We miss loads of them. So I'm going to sort of like give you a little idea of the stuff I do, which I believe Rob would say I'm infamous for. Okay. But I suppose one could say I've never really been a wailing wallflower. My childhood was very unusual. I went to 17 schools and colleges, and it kind of shaped my gregarious nature. But I don't believe you have to be really, really outgoing to do the things that I do. And I headed it spontaneous prospecting, but also questions are the answer. Because basically all I'm going to be doing is relaying something that I've learned from that wonderful Alan Pease that years ago produced. I'm sure it's on DVD now, not DVD, CD. No, it's probably on some stick, isn't it now? It happens on sticks. But I had a tape. Do you remember those? I had a tape, and that tape was very funny because he turned it into a hilarious half an hour of entertainment, giving you the fact that, in a nutshell, if other people say something, it's true. But if we say something, it's false. Or they won't listen to us, or they'll give us an objection. Is it not true that if we're honest with ourselves, none of us like being sold to? Not really. I think it's a very British trait. We all want to, this is the hilarious thing. We all want to buy things, but we don't want to be sold to. How does that one work? It is absolutely a funny, funny thing. So it's taken me a long time to get very relaxed and spontaneous in that I do this stuff, which I can't say I picked it up even in just a few years. I think it took, if I'm really honest with myself, I think it took a good 7 years before I started to make it part of my makeup, my nature. Yeah. So I'm going to give you a few instances this week because I think it's quite a good idea to bring it current and up to date. Oh yeah, two yesterday, two. So I had an appointment. Hey, face to face. Isn't that fabulous? Which came about from lots of phone calling last week. And I thought I had a lady that was going to sign up for all the services and become a partner. You can't write this stuff. There was only £20 a year annual saving. Okay. But as I said to her, and she had said to me before we ever got into the presentation, I've been very, very frugal. I spend my life getting the best deals, and I've got something with EE that you're never going to match. That was what she said to me. I said, oh, excellent. She said, also, I've only just 3 weeks ago switched energy supplier, and I'm over the moon because I've saved another £230 a year. I said, fantastic. I said, let's do this anyway, because you're interested in earning money. So I do the presentation, and what transpires is, hey, we match her EE deal. She said, I can't believe that you do the same. She said, what? 4 Sims for 50 quid? I said, yeah. She said, do you know that only employees that work for EE get that? I said, well, they don't, do they? I said, utility warehouse people do. And I said, what's interesting here is we don't have to haggle for it. Isn't that incredible? We don't have to be special. Then we got to the energy and we were cheaper. We came out at about, I think it was £75 a year cheaper. But we were a little bit more expensive on the broadband and phone. So overall, just like for like, without cashback, we were £20 a year cheaper. At the end, I turned to her and I said, Donna, isn't that amazing? I said, look at that. Better customer service like you'd like, all on one bill, which you said you'd like. And guess what? We match slightly better to what you have worked so hard to get. And I said, super, super respect to you that you worked so hard to get that. And she went, I must admit, she said, I was hoping to save more. I said, why would you hope to save more when you've gone out of your way to find such a great deal? I said, I'm actually chuffed to bits. That shows you UW are absolutely amazing. And she went, well, yeah, I suppose you're right. Now, cashback brought it down that she was going to save about another £300 a year. And I said to her, isn't that great? What transpires is she's got a, I've got to be careful what I say here, a reserved husband who, who through no fault of his own can't work through a disability, but basically put her off joining. I actually believe she had the ability and I think she'd be good. But this is so funny. She wrote back to me on the Friday, and I'm going to read this to you because this is all relevant to what I'm coming to. Let me just find it because it is so funny. She wrote, hi Lisa, had long chat with hubby last night and we decided it's such a small change, we're going to stick with the providers we have. And as you're reluctant to move to have me as a partner without me being a customer, do you hear that, folks? Then that's sad. I actually think I've got the motivation and discipline to make this work anyway. But I thank you for your time that you took with me and wish you luck with everything. Anyway, I write back, and I won't read all of what I wrote back, but I basically said, how about the bigger picture? The bigger picture is this. How about having a life of choices and not limitations? How about bringing in an amazing income that then you wouldn't have to do the Iceland shop combined with the Lidl shop and doing your utmost to keep counting the pennies? How about bringing about a super lifestyle for you and your family? What happens? Saturday morning, I get, hi Lisa, I've been chatting with my son and he's interested in talking to you about the opportunity you offered me. He's dead keen. Here's his number. Please give him a call. Anyway, we spoke, very keen. He'd been a utility warehouse customer in his previous address that he'd taken over from. It was there. He's now moved. For some reason, it was really weird when I spoke to him yesterday. He didn't kind of like keep it going through the home movers. He just cancelled everything. Anyway, so cut a long story short, signed him up for all the services and a partner. And we've just today done the fast start plan together. And he's really out to do, he wants to get 10 customers in 45 days. He's mega keen to earn money. And we both had a laugh and said, his mum could be his first customer. But that's the way you do it, isn't it?
Yeah, well done.
Definitely. Well done.
Right. How did I come upon her? I'd been doing lots of calling, lots and lots of calling. And Donna had come by because I'd been stood in a queue in Lidl's waiting for the checkout. And she was in the next aisle. And I had, funny enough, my little pig badge on. And we got chatting about, I don't know, rubbish. And then all of a sudden she said, oh, I like your badge. She said, I recognise that. That's a company, isn't it? I said, yes, it is. She said, what is that? I said, oh, UW. She said, UW. I said, utility warehouse. She said, oh, don't you save people money on bills? I said, yeah, I reduced their bills for them. And I also, more importantly, show people how to make an amazing income. And she went, oh. I said, I tell you what, would you like me to send you a 2-minute video? She went, yeah. I said, hang on, got my phone, said, what's your name? She said, Donna. I said, I'll put Donna Liddell, then that will be my link to remember. And she gave me a number. She was one of those calls. Now, that was seconds of exchange. How many of you could do that? So yesterday, before the appointment, we go for lunch. And we go to a place called the Bear. Bloody freezing yesterday, wasn't it? The Bear in Burton. My God. Can you imagine me? I had 2 throws on me. God knows how many clothes. I looked like a Teletubby. I was so wrapped up because we had to sit outside and it was blowing a hoolie. But I want to share this. At one point, I go to the toilet, go through, and I don't know. I'm sorry, folk. I may be speaking out of turn, but I'm just going to say it the way it is. You know, these poor staff, they're masked up. They look like they're about to raid a bank. We're actually sat outside. It's like, this is nuts. We're outside. So I go to the loo and I'm coming back, and one of the staff, she's there, and her name turned out to be Jasmine. And I said to her, I feel so sorry for you that you're having to be masked up. She said, I know. I said, well, it's crazy. You're actually outside, but I bet the company makes you. She said, yeah, they do. Anyway, we had a conversation about current stuff. Then she said, have you paid yet? I said, no. Would you come over to us? I said, because I think I'm going to put this one on the business because I can, because I'm about to do an appointment. So she came over and we chatted further. And then I used my business card, and she went, oh, so she said, you could put this on your business. Oh, what's your business? Now that's the perfect thing. I said, well, there's 2 sides to my business. I said, one is pretty good. I said, I reduce people's bills. She said, do you? How'd you do that? I said, oh, we do a cost comparison, you know, apples for apples. And I said, basically, because the company doesn't waste customers' money advertising, I said, oh, they do unprecedented prices. I said, the other side, though, I said, is super slick. And one looked at me with that look of, here she goes in for the kill. And she said, oh, what's the other side? I said, well, the other side is all about showing people how they can have financial stability by showing others how they can reduce their bills. She went, wow. I said, why, are you interested? Just like that. She said, well, I'd certainly be interested in reducing the bills. I said, oh. I said, well, look, Jasmine, you know you wanted some information about the other stuff. I said, hang on. And I went like this round, I said, do you know, I've never got a business card on me. Now, that's actually on purpose. Okay, I've learnt that one off many people. And I learnt that one off Wes, actually. So I said, I tell you what, look, let's take your name. I said, Jasmine, I'm going to put Jasmine the Bear. And she just gave me a number. I said, I tell you what, Jasmine, I'll send you that information you're after about the other stuff. I said, and then we can talk about reducing your bills. She said, yeah. She said, oh, gosh. She said, my husband was just going to start talking about that. Anyway, cut a long story short, actually, Jasmine on the WhatsApp, because I said, oh, do you do WhatsApp? She said, yeah. Oh, there's a picture of her. She is stunning, this woman. She could be a model. And so I sent her information. We've had a good laugh and a giggle. And then I'll tell you what I've written to her, because she's going to come in the business. I just know she is. So she's put, yeah, I put, oh, you're so welcome. This was after I sent her the other items. If you'd like a free apples for apples cost comparison on your home bills, happy to help there too. She wrote back, yes, I am. In fact, I'm going to speak to my partner and get back to you on that one, but I'm really interested. So I put, oh, by the way, just seen your WhatsApp profile photo. you're stunning without a mask. And she put, oh, thank you very much. It's such a shame. I've got to wear them all the time. Hope everything was okay with your meal. Looking forward to speaking further. Now,
Good.
she's someone else that I will follow up. And they say that the fortune is in the follow up. And I believe a lot of the time we miss opportunity because we don't follow up. Now, I'm very old fashioned. I've already done it. In my phone, for 2 days later, I've put myself a reminder, call Jasmine. All right, because that's easy to do, isn't it? And it rings, it lets you know. So that's what I do there. Now, you may also know that last year, for example, I met a couple in what I call the anti-social distancing queue. There's no way it's social, is it? It's anti-social, right? So where we are, outside of Marks and Spencer's, and about 2 away, there's this guy with his missus. Well, I didn't know it was his missus. And he's really loud and he's just talking to, I don't know, people, anyone that will listen to him. And I can't help myself. I have to join in. And it turned out his name was James M. with his wife, Linda, of course, who subsequently joined. Now, what went on in the conversation was I joined in on something, and then he happened to say, so what do you do then? You know, like people do. I just went, oh, blimey, I feel really embarrassed. I said, because, you know, this was the start of lockdown. This was April. I said, oh, I feel really embarrassed. I said, given what's going on at the moment. I said, because I'm not really affected by any of this lockdown stuff. I said, I'm very lucky. I've got reoccurring passive income. And he went, oh, have you now? He said, that's the best income in the world. Can you imagine all the people in the queue looking? They've all stopped now and they're all watching. Now, what's going to be said next?
Ears pricked up.
So I said, well, he said, well, so what's the company? I said, oh, well, I said, the company, I said, basically, I said, what we do is we reduce people's bills. And he went, oh, is that Utility Warehouse? I said, oh, how do you know? He said, oh, I think I've seen your Mini going around, which made me laugh and a half because there's probably about, how many now, 1,000 of them? I said, well, I don't think it might have been me. I said, it might be quite a few people. And I said, oh, well, I was one of the people that really got it all going in Dorset about 18 years ago. And he said, oh, he said, I know Malcolm Walpert. I went, you don't? Now, Malcolm Walpert, for those that don't know, by the way, is the voice of Utility Warehouse.
All right.
Yeah, he is our voice. He's lovely. And I said, do you now? He said, oh, listen here, young lady. I liked that. He said, take my email address down. Cool, you've never seen me get my phone out so fast. So I put his email address and he told me his name. And I thought, I've got to follow up with this. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I do believe it could have gone one or two ways, that one. Because James is a natural, Lindsay, green person. He's got to know the detail. And I'm thinking, I don't want to give you any detail at this point. I just want to, I want to present to you. That's all I want to do. Anyway, so I write him an email and I can't remember the first one. I've got it all on file, obviously. He writes back and he's trying to find stuff out. And I'm going, and I'm then, thankfully, when he wrote back, he had his business signature and he's a chairman of a massive company. He's got his own business. In fact, his company provided the very first, what do they call them? Is it VA system that provides, yeah, you're nodding, Lindsay. You know, oh, what do they call it? When you ring up, you go through all these automated and you get to the right department. Telephone system. He provided the very first for Telecom Plus Utility Warehouse.
Oh,
Over 20 years ago. Yeah. So he was close friends with a few of them. Anyway, sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. So I thought, I've got to play that. So I rung Steve Critch, had a quick word, got his ear on the best way to do this without wrecking it. And he said, oh, yeah, definitely. He said, give Malcolm a call, have a chat with Malcolm, get Malcolm and him talking again. And I said, yeah, I will. So anyway, on his signature, he had a telephone number. I thought, yes, that's all I want. I just want a telephone. Now, some people would have carried on what I call ping pong emailing, because some people never want to talk to people, but you've got to. They've got to hear your passion, your inflection, your intonation. I've been saying to this young lad today I've done a fast start with, he said, oh, can I text message them? I said, well, you said to me you wanted to know the best way to do this. I said, and I'm telling you the best way. I said, two-way communication is talk. I said, the best is face-to-face like us. Next is Zoom. Then it's telephone. And I said, anything else, texting, all of that, that is a one-way street. It's not two-way. I said, because there can be ambiguity in what you send. There can be ambiguity in what comes back. And you've got to hope that somebody reads it. They may not even read it for 8 hours before they decide to reply, or they might leave it a few days. Different when you speak. So I rang James and he went, oh, hello. I said, hello, James, it's Lisa, your blonde lady in the anti-social distancing queue. And he laughed. We had a good old laugh about it. And then I said, look, I've been having a chat with your friend and mine, Malcolm, because this is what you do, isn't it? I can see Jackie's sitting there and she does loads of business networking. You make use of contacts. That's what it's about. And he said, oh, he said, is he still there? I said, oh, gosh, yeah. I said, he's the voice of UW. I said, he's lovely. I said, he was absolutely so delighted to hear that I've met you. And I said, he's also told me that you're a person to be reckoned with. He went, oh, what does that mean? I said, I hear you're very successful, James. Now, some would say that that is buttering someone up. There are times when it's the appropriate thing to do. And that's what I did. So I said, look, James, let's not beat around the bush. I said, there's two things here. I said, there's making money and there's saving money. Which do you prefer? And he went, oh, you're in for the kill. I said, yes, James. I said, come on, you gave me your email address. You did it for a reason. He said, I'm just very interested in knowing more. He said, I'm sure you could save us some money. I said, well, look, James, why don't we meet? I said, I don't mean face to face because we can't. But I said, if you've got an iPad or something like that, I said, we can actually meet on Zoom. He went, can we? I said, yeah. He said, oh, I'm no good at tech. I said, you don't need to be. I said, I'll send you a link. You click on it and you'll be there and I'll be there. So I set it up to do the presentation. Nothing else. Didn't want any more chit chat. That's what is it? Claire Hingott says, it's Celia Gadd. We're in show business. We're here to show people our business. Yeah. So folk, I've given you 3 little instances there where it's all about spontaneity, even in lockdown situations. And it's about being normal, being you, being exactly as you are, just in giving them, in each case, what's happened there is they've asked me a question. If you sell, never, ever will it happen. It's got to be procured that they are interested in you or what you do. And they want to ask the questions, because if they ask the questions, it's true. If you do, they'll give you an objection. That's what Alan Pease told us all those years ago, and it's never changed since. So you've got to have a situation where you procure something that enables them to ask. Now, listen, I've always worn a little badge, just a little badge. Nothing great. It doesn't say what it is. It's a pig with some coins in it. And some would say, hang on, Lisa, that's not relevant anymore. Actually, do you know what? I think it still is. It's still about making money and saving money. And rather than, I used to wear a yellow badge which said that. That's a bit too in your face. I think subtlety, because actually I've worn that quite a lot, and it's amazing how many times it's got me business. In fact, I've just been dealing with a lady that's now been with me since 2004. How many years is that, guys? Crikey.
17.
Crikey, 17 years, all right. And I have had endless referrals from her, endless. She lives in an enormous house. It's huge. And it came about because I went to buy her organic lamb. I was doing Wimble Market. Couldn't do Winnemini then. It wasn't allowed to. I just stood there and I talked to folk. Yeah. And basically kind of brought them over. And I went to buy some land and I had my little badge on, which was the forerunner to this one. It was still a pig. And as we did money, she saw it and she said, oh, what's that? I said, oh, that's what I do. I'm in the next hall. She said, what's that? I said, oh, I reduce people's bills. Oh, she said, oh, that'd be interesting. I said, well, it's probably not the right place now. You're busy. I said, well, why don't I take your name and number and I can give you a call? She said, oh, to be honest, after Christmas, New Year would be better. I said, no, that's fine. But I did it very spontaneously that time. I actually said, why don't I give you a call? Because you're busy. In other words, I am respecting her time. Mm. Does that stuff give you ideas, guys? Mm-hmm. Shall I tell you why I thought to do this? We're all doing stuff at the moment which is out of our comfort zone. Namely, I know there's two people sat in the car, neighbourhood letters. And I know it is jumping out the comfort zone. Hands up if anyone feels really comfortable and loves doing it. Not one hand. Oh, one. Lorraine. Gosh, Lorraine, unmute. Unmute yourself, Lorraine.
Yeah, I've done it.
So, did you enjoy it?
I do enjoy it. Sometimes I feel, is this the opportunity or not? But this morning, I got a text on my phone from Forum Jewellers in Broadstone, because I dropped my watch off last week for a battery to be fitted, and they said it was ready to pick up. So I went in and I had one of these, the 20k giveaway things.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought, oh, I've got to say something to this woman. And there was a pile of forms on the little desk where I was, you know, she was the other side. And there was a competition, a giveaway thing there. So I picked it up and she said, oh, you can fill that out if you want. And I said, yeah, oh, I'd love to fill this out. I said, tell you what, whilst I'm filling this out, why don't you fill mine out? I said, we might win each other's. And so she filled it out and I was concentrating on mine and I thought, oh, please fill it out. And she was busy doing it. And then she handed it back and she circled the yes where she wanted to know about the, you know, the saving money on the bills. And so I said, well, when you're not busy later on after your shift, I'll give you a call if that's okay, and we'll chat about it.
Excellent. So there's a top tip, folks. Yeah, come on. Brilliant. Excellent. That's really good. Now listen, why don't we all carry some of those little forms with us? Have them on us. Mm-hmm. Do you know what? You never know.
Yeah, I just ordered them last week, so they only came, you know, a few days ago.
Easier for women. We can easily put them in our handbags, can't we? Yeah? Yeah. But, you know, just, it's do this stuff. Do stuff, because I do believe going out, it's a lot of effort into getting the letters, printing them off, and then you're going out and you're dropping them off, then you're going back. Now you've got to knock the doors with masses of Dutch courage. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of activity for results. Right, Melanie and Kev. So you've been out. Was this pick-up time? Was this knock doors and?
No, this was just drop time. Drop time with wooden spoon. Mel likes a wooden spoon.
What's the wooden spoon for?
Well, on the training, was it
It
John
was
and Kerry
zinc.
Zink said that or somebody did, so they said they use a wooden spoon to get past the draft excluders and the letterbox. Because they're really hard to get the letters in, and you get your hand stuck, or you might get it bitten by a dog. So you get the wooden spoon and push it through.
Right. So you've dropped them off. Now you've got to diarise about 24 to 48 hours and go back and knock the doors.
Yeah.
That's the hard bit, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, we've just done the FTTP ones. We found an area here where there's FTTP new builds, and we've just dropped about 50 each, I suppose. So we're wondering, I suppose we can follow up on those. There's no reason why we can't follow up.
Yeah, do follow up. Unfortunately, I've been to a few of our villages. There's nothing here. I've got no FTTP. But listen, we've now gone through some ways of prospecting. Guys, next week, what do you want to know? This is your event. What do you want to know? Come on.
How to get a new partner. How to get a first partner.
How to get a first partner? Well, it's no different getting a first one to getting a, I don't know, my fourth or fifth hundred one. It's never any different. It's always the same principle. It's about asking questions, getting people to ask you questions. It's exactly the same. There is no different there, Lorraine. What does anyone else want to know next week?
Lisa, can I just ask you, the people that you sign up for partners,
Yeah.
is there a particular or age group that you tend to sign more of than others? I mean, do you sign a lot of younger people or middle-aged people or maybe slightly older people like me?
Okay. Let's look at all the people that I've signed up that have actually done something, because I've signed up a lot over the years. It averages about 2 a month. That's what I average. All right. But who's actually made it work? Which is the same as all the other stats. It's not even 20%. But we've got Kev Farwell. We've got Liz Marsh. We have Susie Kelly. I've got Alison Hughes. Oh my God. I don't know. There's loads. But all those people, what age group are they?
I don't know. It sounds like a mixture, but I just wondered if you've got many sort of like 19, 20-year-olds, or because if you look through the utility warehouse things, you know, there seems to be a lot of young people joining, but where I am, there doesn't appear to be that many young people.
Can I just say,
I've come across.
There's a lot of younger people looking because they're desperate for work because of what's gone on. Whether or not they're going to make this a success is another thing.
Yeah.
The lad I've just signed up is 24, but he's got a partner and they've got just had their second baby, 3 weeks old was there, and the other little one, she wasn't quite 2. He's got a lot of reasons that he wants to make this work, but he's a little bit unusual. He's got a background in sales, which I've told him he's got to learn to unsell. Okay. But that means he's got lots of temerity. He's got lots of tenacity. And if he follows what I do, and Juan said to him, emphasized to him yesterday, listen to this lady, what she has to say, because then it will happen. But if you try basically and reinvent the wheel, it won't, because too many people want to do it their way. And there is a definite success formula for this. And I always say to everyone, it's a bit like McDonald's. McDonald's hamburgers, I wouldn't give a fig for. I'd never eat one. but I have to recognise it's a raging success story around the world, and you don't change the formula. It's the same thing. It's all about tapping them into the system and doing exactly all the things that we say. And I won't do any different. But what I will say is, if they will not get that fast start plan done within at least 3 days, you have got so much trouble to get them up and running.
Mhm.
They've got to get going fast.
Basically.
That is a fact. Yeah. Right,
Yeah.
guys. Will you very kindly please send me what you'd like to know, and then that can be next week. All of you think of something, and you can send me via WhatsApp, direct to me what you'd like, and I'll have a look at them all. All right?
Can I just ask
Okay.
a quick question, Lisa, before we go?
Yeah.
What was your response to when people say, "What do you do?"
What is I say, I show people how I reduce their bills, and I
Yeah.
show people how to get to financial stability.
Thank you.
All right?
Yeah, thank you.
Right. Okay, folk. Nice to see you all. We've overrun, but obviously you're keen, which is nice. Is it all lovely and sunny where you are? Because it's turned out nice now.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
There's a man in the background. Who's that?
Is there a man in the... Ah, he's peeking through. He's come in.
You peaky blinder, you one.
Sorry, mate.
Morning.
Saying goodbye. So.
We
Right.
are.
Right, guys. Lovely to see you all. Keep in
Thanks,
touch.
Lindsay.
Thanks, Lisa. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.